why do you believe that marriages or long-term commitment relationships are failing today in America? And I'll start it off with MK. Go ahead, MK. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts on why marriages are not working these days is because there's too many avenues to cheat. People don't want to stay committed. It's not like before. Like if you think about it, when your grandparents were together, like they were together for many years. I'm sure, I mean, my grandparents never divorced. But as time went on and as we've evolved in society, there's so many influences from the outside, like especially like with social media, for example. Okay, so say you're married and you're in a relationship, whatever, and then you start like friending people or whatever on Instagram and or whatever social media, whatever you're on. Then it's like, oh, then you're getting attention from someone else, and then all of a sudden your husband or your wife is not paying attention to you, and you're just like, okay, and then it just leads down roads that it's like, to me, unsafe, and so like for me, it's like you have to be able, when you're in a relationship or when you're in a marriage, you have to be able to know how to control that. You have to be able to know when to put a stop to it, when it's just all it is attention that you're getting. It's to me, it's like they just want to hit it or whatever it is, it's not real. So people live in unrealistic worlds, even in their own marriage. And so I believe that that's a huge part of it is social media. I believe another huge part of it is women in general being more independent. Like, I don't need a man. Like, you know how I always talk, that is always my MO. Like I'm not going to depend on a man to take care of me. I'm not going to depend on all of this stuff. So it becomes like a blessing and a curse in disguise, because you a lot of women are coming out of that. I'm a housewife. I'm going to stay home and clean and wash and cook, and I'm going to be this submissive person. And I think it's harder for men to get a grip on that. It's kind of intimidating in some ways. And so when women are getting more empowered and are kind of like fighting back, marriages are then failing, people don't want to stay committed to something that they're not, or they're feeling like they're lacking something in the relationship, whether it's sex, whether it's love, whether it's just mentally or emotionally, involved in the relationship, because it takes a compromise. It takes two people, and it takes work every single day. People are just getting too comfortable in what they're in, when there's all these other, like I said, aspects and avenues out there, like, oh, what? You don't want to pay attention to me, bitch? I got like 10 other people waiting on hand. You know what I mean? It's that whole attitude of like, I can just like flip it like that because you're not doing what I want you to do, or I'm not willing to work for it. Like, people need to work at their relationships. That was a really long answer, but I didn't know how to.
That was a great answer.
Yeah. No.
I second that. I definitely second that.
You covered everything. Hey, Lani, I did want to ask you real quick before I move on to the next person to share their thoughts, because you mentioned about the cheating, right? Do you think people were more loyal back then, or just the difference between today is because social media, cheating is more visible? Back then, they could hide it a lot better because there was no social media.
Yes, I think that cheating has always been prevalent. I mean, I was cheated on 27 years ago. You know what I mean? I think that it's always been a thing. I think it just makes it a lot worse now because there's ways of hiding it. Like Instagram, like you can delete your messages, you can vanish your message.
Yeah, vanish.
You can vanish. You can snap a quick dick pic and nobody's gonna know because it's gonna disappear. You know what I mean? Like Snapchat is just shady. Like, I don't have Snapchat because it's just shady as hell. You know what I mean? Like you can get away with stuff so much more easier and hidden than it could before. You know what I mean? Like, even on your phone, a cell phone. Back then, I didn't have a cell phone 27 years ago. Now you have a cell phone. You have access to the world with your cell phone. Back then you had a house phone. That's it. And a pager. You had a pager, and so it's becoming so much more easier to cheat because you have all these avenues to cheat and you have all these people that's willing to do it. Okay.
All right. Yeah. That was just my question.
Yeah. See, I'm just gonna interject with that. I agree with her on it's easier to cheat because there's so many more avenues and people take that attention like, oh my God, like they're taking it really to heart. And I'm always like, that's sandcastles they're trying to build you and not the foundation you have with your partner. But with social media, so in my case, it is so much easier to get caught because I have caught through the social media, through that phone, I'm like, ooh, FBI, hold on, FBI. And I've been able to catch them right then and there, you know? So
True.
it goes both ways. It's like a double-edged sword on that.
But you have to
end.
be a good researcher.
Oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're a FBI. My friends call me and they're like, I need you to check this guy out. I'm like, oh, give me 10
CIA.
minutes. I got all of it on him. And I'll get the whole background.
Yeah,
so
you can make a little fake profile. You can say that your name is Kimberly and
Exactly.
be like, hi, you know what I mean?
Oh,
You can put a
Alfred, I
little
will find
catfish
out.
pictures.
I
You
will
can
find
catfish
out.
them. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, it's
find
definitely
out.
a thing.
Alfred's coming up as Freddie, you know, it's
You
like,
know what I'm saying? Or
I'll be
my
like,
name
Alfred,
is
what is
John
this, Freddie?
with a
What's
long
your
John.
face
You know
on
what I'm saying?
no, and there's a lot of fake profiles. There is. And I believe a lot of it is people that's in relationships, just trying not to get caught. Because, like, okay, so I'll give you an example. Like, I was just told, like, I ruined a relationship just because of I'm posting. And the girlfriend is seeing that the boyfriend is liking all of my things, right? Because she knows that's his Instagram. And it's like, to me, that's just so silly. But I can see how it's easy to get caught, like you're saying, because you're like, like suddenly this girl pops up and, oh my God, it says it right there that he liked her post. And you're like wigging out about it. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are not secure and confident enough to know that their person is not going to cheat. Like for me, I'm like, okay, I don't care. Like, whatever, go like her post. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with myself. Like, I have confidence. I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd be like, go ahead. You didn't
I
put,
feel like
put
I'm cool with that too. Like, I'm cool if I had a partner, my partner was liking other people's pictures. Like, to me, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't flip over it. A lot of other people would, but I think I'm cool with it. Like, I'm just.
Well, it's kind of human nature. I mean, you know what I mean? But now when you're sliding into DMs, now you got something a little different.
You
took it to the next level. You just stepped it up.
Now there's a little link. Wait, what's going on?
The issue sliding into the DMs, no, but liking the picture and putting comments, it's like, go ahead, baby, do it all day long. You know, it doesn't matter. You know when you slide into the DM, we have an issue.
Exactly.
Or try to try to bring it into fruition, like that.
Exactly.
Link up, you know what I mean?
You're manifesting that shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Now you about to go have lunch? You about to go have lunch? Like, no.
Coffee?
No,
wait,
we ain't
what?
doing
You
that.
don't drink coffee?
No.
We ain't doing all that.
All right. No, all right. So thank you for Lani for dropping those bombs. I see some of the comments. Yeah, they're saying they're totally agreeing with you. One of them will say definitely loves you. Has a crush on you. Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody that's watching, let me know your comments below. Drop some love, drop some chat. Let me know your thoughts and everything we're discussing. But we'll move on to the next person. Same question, and I'll pass it on to Karen. Karen, to you, same question. Why do you believe relationships are failing today?
I just think it's the society that we're living in. It's so easy, you know, to swipe to the left, make those fake profiles, get on those dating websites, you know, go on social media. And I think it's just a matter, if you're not a strong person and you're getting that little bit of attention, you know, instead of going to your partner and saying, hey, listen, I'm feeling this, or I'm not feeling this from you. Let's sit down, let's talk about this and let's work this out. They think it's easier to get that quick, you know, that quick hit, that quick high of, man, damn, you're so fine, or, you know, whatever they want to say to you, you know. And instead of saying, hold up, this is just a person that's really, you know, what's the difference between me and going to the grocery store and getting that same kind of comment? You know, you have to be realistic about it. So it's a lot easier now. And people don't want to work. They think the grass is greener on the other side, and they don't want to work on their relationship. I mean, you know, I was a few back men that I was dating. We had a small, it wasn't even like a disagreement. It was a misunderstanding. And he was just like, oh, I can't handle it. And I was like, whoa, out the door. And I was like, wait a minute. I just said, this is how I felt. And it was like, no, I'm just going to, you know, swipe to the left to the next person.
So quick to give up. They're so quick to give up.
Yeah,
exactly.
It wasn't even worth it. It wasn't even worth it. If you were going to give up like this quick, then why were you even talking to me? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why were we doing
this?
Well,
you just loved me yesterday.
Yeah. You were saying all these things last night.
An hour ago.
You was all up in it.
What?
Yeah. So I just think they don't even want to put in the work. And, you know, and for me, you know, when it's completely different dating in your 40s, you know, I don't know, like, okay, if you believe in this, I don't know, but dating in your 40s is a completely different, different animal. It's a different ball.
150,000 times million.
What's different? What's different about dating in your 40s?
I just think it's like everyone starts coming more, and I don't want to use the word baggage, but let's just use that word because we all do come with baggage.
Yeah, keep it real.
Thank you.
We all come with baggage, but how are you gonna be able to carry that baggage? You know, be realistic about it, and then you don't want to. a lot of people, both men and women, they don't want to change their ways. They're too set. They get too comfortable. Listen, for me, it's great. I love, sometimes I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm on Netflix all by myself. It's a Friday night. I got my pajamas on with my Pringles and it's great, you know, and no one's telling me, baby, what's for dinner? Where are we going? What are we doing? What are we watching? I'm great. But then there's other days that, hey, you know what? I do want a partner there. So, you know, I just also want to hold me in love.
Well, and you know what it is too? It's like you're more established financially, I feel. And you're more established in life and all this other shit. You're like,
yeah.
You know, like I already been, you know, like my kids are older. Like, I don't want to deal with like, where were you at 5 o'clock? Like, what? No.
Yes.
You know, it's like, I'm grown.
Yeah.
Grown ass woman.
Yeah.
You know, and I own my home. I drive my own car. You know what I mean? And so it becomes harder because, like I said, it's like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, match my energy. I'm not 25-year-old. I'm this year old. You know, I'm not here to just hit and quit and move along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Yeah. So, you know, it just depends. And so even for me, you know, like right now, my situation is it's easier for me, you know, person I'm dating, you know, is long distance. And that's a little bit easier for me because
then you don't have to see him all the time. It's perfect.
I get my Friday nights and we're like, okay, this is the dates we're going to travel to see each other.
But you can't really build anything with the long distance for something meaningful.
You can and you can't because you can. There's FaceTiming, there's calls.
It's not the same with being physical with somebody.
I think it's easier for women like us because I don't know Karen all that well, but I know I could just tell she's very independent and whatnot. It's like you just have it and it's there and there's the companionship and whatnot, but you're still living your life. You're still living it. You're still dreaming it every night. You're not washing laundry, you're not cooking dinner. You're not doing all that. So it's like the perfect thing. It's a perfect scenario. I agree.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But well, at one point we'll have to say, hey, what's up here?
Right. There's gonna have to come to some sort of
agreement.
Yeah.
But it's the early stages, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm with you, Karen, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it from a lot of women over 40 that you know, it does get harder to attract multiple partners, right? You know, because one of the things I have seen is for a lot of women like to date older and then men like to date younger.
What's up with that?
Well, I think
that's just how it is. That's just how it is. You know?
What is up with that?
We're gonna touch on that in a little bit.
I also think that you can attract, but it's not for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can't attract to be in a good relationship, but if you want a fuck boy, that's easy. Easy. You know what I'm saying? But if you're trying to be in a relationship, then yes, the pickings is slim, depending on what you're looking for.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But if you're just
ain't nobody on the same mental,
everybody wants it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get hit on 25-year-olds in my DMs. Like, I was gonna say,
you know? Yes, I get hit on by a lot of like exactly 25, 29, 32. And I'm like, no, honey, I could be your mom. No.
That's what I said.
But I always answer them, I always answer them, I could be your aunt. But inside my head, I'm like, I could have birthed you. No, you know. So,
exactly.
But I want that
intellectual.
diapers.
Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't understand. Like when I see men with much younger women, I'm like, where is even that? Where does that even go? But that's a different topic that we'll probably get on.
That's a whole other question.
That's a whole different question.
We're gonna hold that. We can hold that.
We can hold that. It's all good. It's all good.
We're gonna touch back on it.
Yeah. Because I want to hear.
No worries. So Karen, thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. And Alfred, same question. You know, what are your thoughts about relationships going today?
You know, I would say kind of a mesh of what, you know, the ladies both said. You know, one, like they're not willing to put the work in, time in, like nobody's a ride or die no more. And it's so easy for them to walk about the door. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like when people are so easy to give up, like you already have that in the back of your mind. Like you already given this relationship maybe 2-3 months at best. And then after that time frame hits, you're like, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel. So whatever she say next, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like
you're waiting for it. Yeah,
exactly.
Like waiting for that last line.
You're waiting for it. Yep. And that's when you want to blow up and be like, nope, this ain't working because you don't like to wear the same socks. You know what I mean? And I can't do that. You know what I mean? And then you make it a big thing so that way you guys be done. So that way you can move on to the next person on your roster.
Yeah.
Now, I
on
feel
your
like,
roster. On your
yeah, you know
roster.
what I mean?
It's like he has a whole team.
His roster.
Like it's just, it is like, you know, because of social media, I feel like it's so much easier to have a roster, like to have,
It is.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you got
it
a
is.
plan B, plan C, all the way to plan 25.
All the way to
like,
F, Y, Z.
you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, you already got people lined up ready to fill that spot. You know what I mean? And then like anybody can jump from, you know, line in 19th place to like 3rd place, you know, depending on how you feel. Like if you're emotional and you want somebody that tends to your emotion, you can jump that person up in the line and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And like, and because of social media and the kind of content you put out, kind of attracts these certain type of people to slide up in your DMs, you know what I mean? And to be your plan B, plan C and all that. And I feel like that's a really big reason why, like let's say personally, like for me in my own life, I've only ever dated once. I've only ever had one boyfriend and we were together for a long time. But after him, like it's hard to find a relationship because nobody's about it. Nobody's willing to put in the work, the effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be a ride or die. Nobody's, you know what I mean? Because like it's so easy. Like I guess we'll touch on this a little bit later too, but I don't like dating. I don't like the whole talking stage. I don't like to know what your favorite color is. Like you know what I mean?
Like I don't give a shit to tell 20 people what my favorite color is.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like what I'm trying to like, do you got a job? Do you have a car? Do you got your own place?
What's
you
your
know what I
credit
mean?
score?
Like exactly. You know what I mean? Like I want to jump into that conversation. You know what I mean? And I feel like at this point, that's what the kind of conversation you got to have with people to start a relationship. But as far as having longevity in a relationship, people just give up too easy. You know, it's like it's just too easy. People aren't willing to fight through it, you know? And then outside of that, like say you do find somebody that, you know, is willing to fight for it. I feel like some people just kind of drag on relationships. Like somebody, like say a relationship, like let's say this relationship went on for 10 years, but one person isn't happy and the other person is, you know what I mean? And I feel like that one person should have said something in year 2, you know what I mean, to have cut it, than to have dragged it on for 10 years. You know what I mean? Because now you sitting here with 3 kids. 10 years of your life. Yeah, you know what I mean? Now you like exactly. Now you're sitting here feeling some type of way, and then like you don't even know how to speak to your spouse or your significant other or whatever. You know what I mean? About why you want to leave this relationship, why this not working for you. When you should have said something in the first place. You know what I mean?
And the resentment builds up.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now it's like we have kids together and now I don't like you. I just can't, I loathe you. You know what I mean? Like I love our kids and I love what we built as far as a family, but
I'm not in love.
This ain't working. You know what I mean? Like, and you could have said that. You could have said that before the 3 kids, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I agree. And I think Alfred also hit the point of when he said in the 2nd or 3rd month. To me, and when I speak to anyone about relationships, that is the magic number where the mask falls off on the 2nd or 3rd month. And that's either I'm out the door or we're going to move ahead.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for dropping that knowledge. Thank you for dropping your thoughts real quick, Alfred. Real quick, before I say my piece, I see there's about 10 people watching and then 2 likes. Y'all gotta get those likes up real quick. There's 8 people watching. 8 people watching right now, and y'all have to like the video.
I'll flash my titties.
So stop being ninja watcher. Already watching, so show some love and support. Please like this. Please like the video. Let's get the algorithm going. So nevertheless, so the question that we discussed real quick, why relationships are failing, and pretty much everything you guys said, you know, I agree for the most part of it. I think for me, the 3 things that come to my mind real quick is number 1, a lot of people, because of social media, a lot of people have unrealistic standards, standards, right? So they always want the next best thing instead of just appreciating what they get. Or once they meet somebody good, they don't value that person because in their mind, they feel like there's this sense of loss. They can always get somebody better, right? That's what social media has created. This, everybody having unrealistic standards. Number 2, I think Lani, I know MK brought it up. We're moving into a new generation where women are becoming independent, right? So for me, relationships worked out before when our parents happened. Traditionally it was like, the man was the provider, protector, and then the woman supported him. That's how always has relationships have worked out. But now we're moving into a new generation society where the women are being the provider, protector. So right now we're trying to figure out how that's gonna work. So that's something that's causing a lot of relationships.
And I don't like that. As independent as I am, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like the man to be the
Exactly.
masculine in the relationship.
Exactly.
I am going to be the feminine woman, but I know there can only be one captain, and I need him to be the captain of the house.
Yes, that's what
as independent as I am. And I will be there to support him as his woman, but I need him to hold me as my man. And if there is I always say, if there's a decision to be made in the household, and I know some women are going to get on me for this,
and
only one can make the decision. I need my man to make that decision.
Let's get it.
Wow.
I'm so old-fashioned in that sense, and a lot of people that I date go, "Wow, I didn't realize that you're that old-fashioned." Again, but it comes back to what my background is, how I was raised,
and what you grew up in, and
how I grew up in, and how my marriage was as well. It was very, I'm Latina, and he was American, and white American, but you would think that he'd be like, I need an independent woman. No, he was also very much into, I am the captain of the ship. And it went good at that point because that's what I grew up with. But I still believe in that. I need my man to be the head of household and the head of the relationship.
And I would extend it this far for you, Karen. Like, I don't believe it's old fashioned. I believe it. That's what has always worked. Right. Yeah. Name me a couple right now that the woman is the leader and the breadwinner, and that relationship has lasted forever.
Yeah, well, it's not even about the breadwinner. I may be bringing more to the table.
Oh,
but
yeah,
when it comes
the leader,
to the
leader.
Yeah, when it comes
the one that's the dominant masculine energy and the leader.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that I may not bring more to the table, meaning financially or whatever. But when it comes to the masculine, and it doesn't mean that also my voice is not going to be heard.
Of course,
he's not going to take me into consideration, and we discuss, and we're supported, and we discuss what issues we have together as a couple. But I'm saying at the end of the day, if there's an emergency and I need someone, I'm sitting here melting, which is very rare. I melt and drown in a glass of water. I need him to make that decision and be the man and step up to the plate.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, like, every relationship I've seen that lasted forever and they never got divorced, they never separated. It was forever. It was just the man was the masculine man, and then the woman. I've never seen a relationship where the woman was the masculine one, and they lasted for it. It always ended up being the 50% marriages, divorce rate. But yeah, that was my feedback. Was a lot of women today are not feminine no more, and a lot of men today are not as masculine. So that's causing issues with that dynamic. And number three, my last piece is, I think one of the biggest problems today, I think you guys all said it about relationships today, is people are pursuing relationships for happiness and for feelings. And for me, I believe that we shouldn't pursue relationships for the purpose of happiness and feelings. We should pursue it for responsibility, for duty, for a need, for a commitment in order to need each other to build a family. And the byproduct of that is happiness and romantic feelings. Because if you base your relationship based on feelings and how you feel and your happiness, because you already know this, our feelings go up and down, right? We may be happy today, but we may be not happy tomorrow, happy next year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years from now, right? So if you base the whole relationship based on happiness, and of course, you can't really expect somebody to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy.
Exactly. But happiness is you have to create your own happiness.
But I'm saying is, a lot of people are dating or getting married to somebody expecting them to make them happy.
Nobody, no. Or validation.
But the thing is, well, that's what I'm saying.
And you don't need somebody to validate you. You don't need somebody to make you happy.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is, in what I see in America, especially with this new generation, people are looking for relationships for happiness, or looking for somebody to complete them, looking for somebody to complete them. And I tell the people, no, you should be already happy, and you should pursue a relationship for the need to start a family. You guys have the same goals together. You guys want to do the same thing, walk the same path. and if you have, and do it for responsibility, for moral duty, for a commitment, companionship, you're doing for something to build a family, to create a legacy, right? And then when you work on those things, and you both have the same goals and dreams and values, and you work on, and you put in the work, like you guys all said, that byproduct of that is happiness and romance,
right? Exactly.
Strong feelings, right? But if you just base it on happiness, that's why that's why I always hear a lot of people that we outgrew each other. No, you outgrew each other because you based it on happiness. Because when you committed to somebody, you don't outgrow each other. It's a commitment.
Exactly.
Like, we're going this for the long haul. We're never gonna break. But the thing is, if you base on happiness, and happiness is feeble, you be strong today, you be weak tomorrow. I think that's one of the problems today, is people are basing their relationships based on happiness, feelings, instead of basing it on moral responsibility, on duty, and the need, and the same needs for each other, that you guys both want the same things in life, and both want the same goals in life, especially when you're building a family in the long term.
I'm gonna say it's hard to do that. It's hard. It's really hard to like, let's say, let's do this, like Exhibit A, right? This man is a hardworking man. He provides. He literally has everything that you want to build a successful future, but you just don't like him like that. You know what I mean? Like,
because he doesn't make you happy.
Yeah, well, it's not that it doesn't make you happy. Well, I guess, yeah, let's say that in the end. But, like, so what we like nowadays is like people that, understand our jokes, people that, get along with us, people, you know what I mean? Like, there's people who we meet that end up liking us, but they don't have the building blocks to, grow like a personal relationship with. But at the end of the day that this person can help you build you up to that level where you need to be stable, to be, you know what I mean? Like, and so, but those kind of people, you kind of like throw them to the side. You know what I mean? Like, those are like your back pocket people. You know what I mean?
I'll give you a perfect example, because I hear this a lot from a lot of the younger girls, right? So I would hear, I've heard this from girls where they'll meet a good guy, right? He has good values, good morals, loves God, good, has a job, responsible.
Yeah.
But their complaint was like, what, he's boring, right?
Yeah.
I want to go with the fun guy. I want to go with the guy that's at the club.
Listen, send me the boring men, please.
but like I said, this brings me to my point. They're basing their decision of their partner based on happiness. So they went with the guy that made them happy, with the partying and having fun and all those stuff. But they forget that what builds relationships is responsibility, duty, and guys that have to show the work ethic. But like I said, they ditch those guys and go to have a mess around. But then later on in life, like, when the time's starting to run out, then now they're looking back, they want to get the good guy, but the good guy's already wifed up. He already found his wife. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. I think it goes for men and women.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just the girls that do
both,
that.
both.
I think women. I think it's also the men.
I do that.
But yeah, no, I'd rather have in my instance, I'm not looking to build a family because I had my children already. I'm looking to start a new family. And obviously the men I'm dating, usually 99.9 of them already come with children, and already children that are, either like in their late teens into their 20s. So, to me, I like that boring. I like that the person who's responsible, the one who, it loves God, the consistency, and is going to be there. And to me, it's huge how the relationship he has with his children is huge. If he's not treating his children right, he's not going to treat you right. And I tell every woman that. And it's just like, you say that a lot less about moms, because more the moms have that instinct, and we have the children and all that. But you got to always see how that other person treats their children to see how they're going to treat you. So, but I agree with you. And
I would say, and I would say social media has a big part of that, because social media shows this false sense of relationships, having fun, and all these activities that you guys do, and that's what people think relationships are, but they don't realize relationships is hard work and commitment.
No, and it really is.
And working things together.
Well, I know Will follows me. I don't know that you guys follow me, but like, I'm always having fun. I'm always a big party. I'm always extra. But at the end of the day, I know I'm fucking hard. Like, I am like a hard person to deal with. My friends tell me, I know I'm just a hard person to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I don't mean to be a hard person, but it's just my personality. That's just who I am. So I see what you're saying, like how social media is like, and everybody's like, they all like the idea of me and everything that I am, the funny, the party girl.
They don't want to put the work in.
just talk shit.
Loving.
But at the end of the day, they don't know the background. Like, I have a master's degree. Like, I have a good job. Like, you know what I mean? All that shit is like a false sense of reality. What's out there on the media is all good and fine, but in the background,
and you walk your talk.
I got my shit together. I can back it up, you know?
Get it. Yeah.
So, I mean, it is, you are right in that sense. Like, the reality of it is like, it's a false reality because you're like, oh, this is the girl that I want because she's so fun and she's so this, that. In my world, it's really not that fun though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one thing I would say is like, whenever something, the only time when people today look for those types, the consistent, the responsible man or woman is when the relationships don't work out or they get older, right? So as they get older, relationships don't work out, then they try to find it. That's why I always tell people on the podcast, when you find that good person, you gotta get with them as soon as possible, right? And so that's something I just noticed is that nobody wants the consistent, boring woman or man anymore. Everybody wants them.
Karen's like me in Florida.
I'm like, hey,
you're right. They'll skip those. One thing I've seen a lot of girls, they'll skip those guys in their 20s, but then in their 30s they'll try to get those guys, but those guys are already wised up by then.
Yeah.
So
I didn't skip that in my 20s. That's a whole different. That's a whole.
Yeah, different situation. Yeah, different situation.